This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News on seconews.org. We're talking everything Mennonite relief sale. We're with Lynn Horner. How are we doing today, Lynn?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to be here.
You've been involved with the Mennonite relief sale for a long time. How long have you been involved, and can you tell us about your role?
You know, I can't tell you exactly, Adrian, how many years, but it has been probably 30 plus years. You know, when I first moved out here in '74, it was a couple years later, in '76, they had the first sale at the Rocky Ford Mennonite Church. Had it on the grounds there. And I don't know that I went to that one, but I'm pretty sure the second and third one were also there. And I attended those, and it was out of that experience that I began to get interest in, and over the following years got involved. So over the last probably 20 plus years, I've a lot of those years I've served as a chairman of the board, but also what that really means is you're involved in almost every facet of what goes on, and
right.
Volunteer is the name of the game, and but for me it's been a great experience. So it's been a good time.
Decades of legwork.
That's right.
Involved, and of course lots of handshakes too.
There you go.
All for a great cause. Coming up at the Arkansas Valley Fairgrounds. That's the most recent venue. You've been doing it there for quite a while, right?
Ever since those first 3 years, it's been at the fairgrounds. So
Okay.
it's always been there following those 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. October 20th it starts. Tell us about our dates and times.
So October the 20th, things don't actually begin until about 5 o'clock that evening.
Okay.
And what you'll have is in the expo building, you'll have several different booths that are at work. There'll be a few food items that can be purchased there.
So is that your opportunity for apple butter?
Actually, apple butter is last year. Those people gave up.
Oh.
They come from all the way from about Hutchinson, Kansas area, and they said we cannot continue to do this anymore, and so they didn't come last year. But the next best thing that we can offer is we have apple butter that's made at several of the different other sales throughout the U.S.
Okay.
And so we do have some to offer, but unfortunately
different.
You can't watch it being made and then purchase it immediately afterwards.
Okay. Well, tell us about some of the other stuff you've got going on. Instead of I have to pick out the one thing that's not going to be there.
There you go. You know, over at the Goldman building, we do a full meal, and it'll be usually it's a pulled pork sandwich, a lot of times a coleslaw, you know, and the Kilkenny mutts that come with it. He's also talked about a vegetarian, so there may be also an alternative salad option as well.
Okay.
We just have to, you know, that's one of the things all this is done by volunteers, and I like to give them the freedom to make some decisions on their own to decide what they feel is appropriate. Yeah. He's been doing this for 10, 12 years. He has a pretty good idea of what needs to happen, and
it sounds like
what people are interested in. So
sounds like you've got enough cooks in the kitchen then.
We don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Generally just one and a lot of helpers.
Right. So speaking of help, let's talk about the cause. So what all the proceeds are going to benefit the Mennonite Central Committee.
That's correct.
That came out a little rough, but
yeah. So actually, a lot of people probably think, well, you know, a lot of this money goes back to the local churches. In fact, not a penny of it comes back to the local churches. At the end of the sale, once we've paid for all of our supplies and
expenses,
items, all that money gets sent to MCC, with the exception we keep out money enough to start the next sale, to pay for advertising and brochures and those kind of things.
Costs.
The upfront costs. But otherwise, all the money goes to MCC. And MCC in my experience, is a great funding unit in that they help with food, they help with clothing, blankets, meat, different water. In Africa particularly, they're creating a lot of dams, water dams, and help with agricultural products. They do probably, I think they have probably some 40 different areas where they are working with different groups of people to help them just maintain and hopefully make their life a little easier and comfortable down the road.
So really, people from southeast Colorado and the surrounding areas have an opportunity to make a global impact.
They do.
By showing up one weekend in October, having a good time, and checking out lots of cool stuff. We haven't even touched on the auction yet.
Yeah.
Tell us just a couple highlights on the auction.
So the beginning auction is starts at 9:30, and it's just a general auction. But it's what we have is a lot of people, both here in the area and up in the Denver Springs area. And actually, our conference, Mennonite Conference, covers all of Denver, and there are probably 20-some churches, as well as one in Albuquerque, Carlsbad, and a lot of those people show up and help in a variety of different ways to make
it really a successful auction.
You bet.
And it's a huge event. Like you said, it's been going since the mid-'70s, and things changing. I don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, but I have to.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game here. So tell us about the changes coming up after this year.
You know, unfortunately, the Rocky Ford Church about 5-6 years ago closed up. We are down to 2 churches in the valley anymore. And unfortunately, like a lot of communities and a lot of areas, just like my daughter went on to college as a nurse practitioner and has moved on. And so a lot of our kids simply have not come back to this area again. And so we are challenged with, right now when we set up for the sale, I have about 6 or 7 guys that help me. And I tend to be one of the youngest ones, and that's not
right.
That's not. You can do that for a while, but long term,
that's not a good deal. 30 years plus, hitting over 3 decades of service.
Yeah.
So basically, we're changing to a bigger venue is what's going on next year.
You bet. You bet. So we are moving next year. We have already reserved the Douglas County Fairgrounds, which is right downtown in Castle Rock, and we will do some of the same kind of events, but actually over time we'll probably change, and there'll be some new things happen.
Right.
Part of it because I'm ready. I've agreed that I will continue to help for this next year to get things set up and going up there, but I would like to be able to hand the reins off to some younger, newer people with newer ideas and visions, and let them take over and create their event.
There you go. It's great to hear you're going to be there to help them through the transition period, and it's a phenomenal thing. 30 years of service to a great global impact through the Mennonite Central Committee. I highly encourage the people of Southeast Colorado to join Seco News live at the Mennonite Relief Sale coming up October 20th and 21st.
Correct. So most of the events actually will start on Saturday. There's a breakfast that starts at 8 o'clock and goes through 9:30, I think. At the Gobin building, all the primary meals happen at the Gobin building. Then there's also a lunch there. But then over in the Expo building and the 4-H building, there'll be a variety. There's a crafts booth, nutrition booth. There's a silent auction as well as a regular auction going on.
It's going to be busy.
It's an active place, fun place to be.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to being there with you guys this year. And of course, encouraging the people of Southeast Colorado to come support the Mennonite Relief Sale as we do it at the Arkansas Valley Fairgrounds, October 20th and 21st.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lynn. For the people of Southeast Colorado with your Southeast Colorado News, for Lynn Horner and the Mennonite Central Committee, I'm Adrian Hart.